When it comes to immigration today, it really seems that we really can't get away from encountering the immigration debate. For immigration practitioners, it's very clear that their practice is changing a great deal. And I think law practice is also changing a great deal generally. But recently, I think we saw something happen that's very demonstrative of what technology can do in law practice. As the Trump administration back in January started to implement their new executive orders, a lot of travelers and immigrants and refugees were caught up in the transition of power and policy. And we saw something very interesting happen. Lawyers became first responders. All over the country, we saw attorneys respond to our nation's airports to triage the legal needs of those being affected by the travel ban. And as the news started to break that this was happening, the ABA was sitting down for its mid-year meeting in Miami. And the Law Practice Division's Future Initiative was sitting down to an agenda that I understand was 3 years in the making. And they set it aside, and they built this website. It's immigrationjustice.us, and it's a rapid response website to help coordinate offers for pro bono service for the American Immigration Lawyers Association. Simultaneously, across the country, we saw Greg McLawson, an enterprising attorney with a firm called Sound Immigration, and some of his colleagues at Clio and Neota Logic build airportlawyer.org. And airportlawyer.org is a platform that travelers can use to register their travel information and connect with attorneys, volunteer attorneys at the airport, just in case they encounter trouble at the border. We also saw locally the Chicago Legal Responders Network coordinate with the Council for American Islamic Relations and put together the Travelers Assistance Project to service immigrants at O'Hare. And these organizations actually still have a presence today at O'Hare, making sure that immigrants are treated fairly there. We saw technology professionals get involved to help create solutions for this problem. Illinois Legal Aid Online's Hot Docs developer Bob Albin built a document automation tool to help generate habeas petitions for those that were being detained. And it's really these types of efforts that I think are great examples of what lawyers can do with technology. And they get me extremely excited about the future of our profession at a time when folks are somewhat negative about it. Technology can be used to triage the legal needs of clients, connect with clients where they are, whether they're at the airport or on the internet, deliver legal services in somewhat unique ways, and most importantly, bridge the legal services gap and help to modernize our profession. But application of technology, and my talk today, is not exclusive to immigration practice. And my team at Road to Status is uniquely suited to help solve some immigration problems because of our mix of co-founders. One of our co-founders, Javad Khazali, is a very experienced immigration attorney. He spent 15 years with the Department of Labor and Department of Homeland Security, seeing the broken system from the inside out. And our other founders are technology professionals with deep experience in solving very hairy problems. And at Road to Status, we've built a web-based expert system that efficiently helps U.S. consumers understand the U.S. immigration process and fill out their immigration documents on their own. And if desired, connect with an attorney for an initial consultation or a review of their application in a limited scope arrangement. Road to Status is not a law firm. Road to Status is a technology company. And we partner with immigration service providers like nonprofits and law firms and other organizations to help them engage their clients in innovative ways and add value to their client relationships. And we help them get the most out of their outreach efforts and business development efforts while also helping them, as we like to say at Road to Status, bridge the immigration legal services gap an application at a time. Now, the reason that we're focused on building solutions for both consumers and legal service providers is because that the demand for immigration legal services in particular continues to rise. And if you build solutions just for consumers, it's somewhat irresponsible, especially without attorney involvement. And if you build solutions just for law firms, you're not serving the needs of the marketplace. So we're building solutions for the entire immigration legal services supply chain, from consumer to law firm and from law firm to consumer. That's the core of what our technology is designed to do. And we're doing this because the legal services gap really continues to rise and grow and broaden. We're all really familiar with graphics like this and statistics that I think we've become very numb to. 10% of the population is served by legal aid. Another 10% is income independent and often able to afford legal services. But then we have an underserved group in the middle. And I think we've all heard this statistic before and seen graphics like this, but this is more what this probably feels like for the public. We offer them, as a profession, a bridge to nowhere. The ABA's Future Report indicated that much of the public lacks access to civil legal services for landlord-tenant matters and foreclosure things. They lack access to legal services for creditor-debtor and bankruptcy issues, and they also lack access to legal services for immigration matters. In particular, the ABA's Future Report pointed out that in removal proceedings, less than 10% of unrepresented litigants are successful. And according to our research at Road to Status, about 40% of affirmative applications are rejected by the government for very simple typographical errors and mistakes that legal service providers can catch. To give you an idea of what the affirmative application marketplace looks like, I pulled up some statistics. 50 million folks are immigrants in the United States, roughly. This is according to 2016 data. About 20 million are eligible for some form of benefit, and another 20 million forms were filed, in 2015. This amounts to about 10 forms being filed per immigrant over their lifetime, and they spend about $10,000 on legal services. About 1 million people become lawful permanent residents each year, and we have about an 18% immigration growth rate, and experts estimate the market to be worth about $21 billion. Here in Illinois, we have the 5th highest immigrant population. We are just ahead of the usual suspects like New York and California and Texas. We have about 946,000 non-citizens that live in Illinois, and some of these folks may be eligible for some form of immigration benefit. Since 2000, about 480,000 people have become naturalized citizens, and locally here in Chicago, we have the 4th highest immigrant population. About 1.7 million people call Chicago home, and about 5 miles from here, one of the most densely populated immigrant communities is Little Village. According to the Chicago Tribune, about 350,000 people are eligible for naturalization right now. And I think when you hear these statistics, it becomes easier to see the sum of people that are affected and unable to access the legal services that they need. But in Illinois, we have great organizations that are doing their best. But even on their best days, these great organizations and others are barely able to touch the demand in the marketplace. And to make problems worse, much of the public earns too much money to qualify for legal aid. And this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for young lawyers to learn how to service new clients. This is an opportunity for solos and small law firms to serve immigrants. But as a profession, we're failing at seizing this opportunity. The U.S. ranks, according to the 2016 World Justice Report, 99 of 118 countries in access to justice and affordability. We are just behind countries like Honduras, and we are just ahead of Afghanistan in this ranking. Over the past few years, since about 2012, 2013, we have dropped 30 spots in this ranking. At the same time, while we're not making access to justice more affordable, solo and small law firms, according to Clio's Legal Trends Report, are billing less than 3 hours per day to their clients. I'd like to pose a couple of questions to the audience to contemplate so that as a profession we can start to start a dialogue. And one of the questions I have, and I think it might be a little obvious, is are lawyers spending just too much time on administrative tasks? And if they are spending too much time on administrative tasks, is technology just advancing too quickly around us that we're not able to adopt it and integrate it into our practice? I leave these questions for you, but I think one thing is certainly clear. The profession as a whole needs to evolve. We need to adapt, and we need to embrace new ways of delivering legal services because the pressure's on. And the pressure is on from business people and venture capitalists, and every day the headlines are not shy about reporting it. It seems like there is a fear in the profession of terms like AI and technology and expert systems, when in fact I believe that technology and AI should be understood and backed by attorneys. Because if we can back this technology, we can leverage it to more efficiently serve our clients and really perfect the craft of what it means to be an attorney. And the reason I say we need to do this now is because these technology companies, they're here to stay. This is a selection of the legal tech startup landscape that Thomson Reuters circulated a couple of years ago. There are hundreds more that are not on this slide. So I think it's time for us to embrace these technologies and what's happening so that attorneys can practice at the top of their license. My suggestion is to dig in and start doing. And I think we can design a better way. Design is about putting yourself in your client's shoes, collecting feedback from them, and measuring it. Don't be afraid to ask your clients what they didn't like about working with your firm. Make engagement with clients much easier. You can do this today using a tool like DocuSign. The Road to Status platform has capability very similar built in. You can use our platform to pass retainer agreements and other sensitive documents back and forth between client and attorney in a secure environment. My next suggestion is that you utilize checklists. I think every lawyer in this room uses a checklist in some iteration or another. Take these checklists that you're using today and get them out of your head and put them on paper. And then consider sharing a version of them with your clients. That can provide clients with a roadmap of what to expect in working with your firm, provide them with some transparency, and add value to your relationship. My next suggestion is to automate what you can. And I know that seems pretty scary, but remember, we're thinking about this from an agile mindset. There are very small things you can do to improve the service that you're providing. Inside Gmail, you can automate the sending of emails. You can use MailChimp to automate the outreach of the messages that you send from your firm to your clients in regular intervals. And if you're feeling ambitious, you can use HotDocs to help automate the production of documents that your firm produces on a regular basis. My final suggestion is to think more like this guy and really embrace new delivery models. Now, Henry Ford once said that nobody ever built a reputation on what they said they were going to do. So I think it's time that we all start doing. We all stop talking and we improve the way that we deliver legal services and leverage technology to do it.